Yes.
If you try to create a single servlet with a single entry point thing that it actually shows the number 1, you can actually trust it because these numbers seem awfully low.
Yeah, no, I haven't, and actually that's, yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, I should do that. You're right. I know I haven't done that, and like I said, this is kind of the beginnings of something interesting. That's the way I see it. I don't trust it 100%. I'm just putting it in just because these are real results I got, and I want to start really understanding what's really happening here. I think there is something going on, and I think something that's worth further consideration. I'll leave it at that. Right now, make of it as what you want, but these are real statistics.
It's surprising how time-consuming something like this is.
Oh yes, it is very time-consuming, and especially if it's not what you're doing for work in your main time. Yeah, but I have to admit, it does help. Doing stuff like this does help you appreciate and understand what this application is really doing. And then especially if you have, like for me, I don't have a specific application I work with every day and that I have to protect or something. I do more just generic stuff, or I go through many applications, so I can't really understand an application thoroughly. But doing stuff like this, especially if you do it on a single application, if you do it enough, you really start understanding what the application is and what it does and how to protect it and stuff like that. So I think it's useful for that kind of, stuff. And this is just so I basically took all the false positives and divided the vulnerabilities by the false positives. So that's what I got there. And as far as efficiency goes, like I said, so just because the scanner finishes quickly doesn't mean it's going to find the most vulnerabilities either. So I found that AppScan was the slowest, but generally gave me the best results. So that's another interesting thing.
Were you using the latest versions of the application?
Yeah, these applications are all open source. They're all, you can you could reproduce it.
No, I mean AppScan. And
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Did I put the versions I was using?
I don't remember.
Yeah. I think I may have missed that. But yeah, I was using the latest. The build of AppScan I was using is probably, when I did this, they're both last month builds.
Okay.
So they're very new of all these apps. It's like AppScan 7.7 something. I don't know what the latest build is. It was 7.7 something. And NTO was like 3 something. They're all very recent builds, yeah. And yeah, if somebody sends me an email and you want to know exactly, I'll tell you. I just forgot to put it in the okay. So these are some other observations I've had. So the amount of links crawled or the coverage of the application doesn't always correlate with the ability of a scanner to discover vulnerabilities in a specific application. So so a scanner may have good efficiency yet find less vulnerabilities in a scanner that takes much longer. Scanner like in W3F, it found nothing in one and found decent amount in another. And I have very interesting stories to tell about WebInspect. Hopefully one day I'll get to talk about it. Especially in that particular bullet. And you can't, like the last time I did this study, I actually didn't even really tune it to scanner as much, and so I definitely had some problems. So you definitely have to tune the scanner quite a bit before you can actually get an effective scan. So don't use a scanner out of the box. So that's something I learned hard way. So I am working on some more testing. I just started on ASP.NET, Java. I got a whole bunch of Rails, PHP, Flex ActionScript apps I want to start working on. So, and I hear that some of the scanners are going to have some capability to handle this stuff in the near future. And then I don't know if I'm able to find any tracing logic for Ruby and PHP. I know there's some AOP stuff out there for PHP and Ruby. I don't know how useful it is. I'm probably going to have to customize it for myself. So yeah, so there's some apps with Dojo and REST So I'm going to start taking a look on to see how those things work. That's also because of some of the performance issues I had. I'm building a much better box. So this is speed it up. Okay, so these are my conclusions. I'd like to reiterate that benchmarking scanners is hard. You have to do it in a very high performance environment. Be ready to swap operating systems, applications, servers, and databases in and out. In my experience, the scanners miss large portions of the applications. Scanner performance from application to application can be like night and day, especially if a different framework is used. Yeah.
On the part about missing large portions of applications, I found with the scanner I use that I almost always like to map it out